Festival Finesser.
Alright, we're back. So next on here I want to talk about Zeke Beats, who is notoriously known for his live scratching during his sets, which is really sick and really unique. No one's really doing that. But aside from that, he kind of has a more weird, kind of, not so much experimental, but definitely more of like a fun, dancey kind of vibe. Not so much heavy, but can be at times. And yeah, just I really want to make note of like that scratching and just a fun, high, upbeat set. Last artist we have on here is Zingara, who I actually had the pleasure of getting to know and meet and work with a little bit before she really kind of blow up. I'm pretty sure he was one of the Excision Spotlight artists who won like the producer contest, who got the grant from Excision Presents and things like that, or Excision himself, I don't even know, but she was one of the winners, and that really like blew her up and got her a spotlight and gave her a platform to really kind of excel, and she's definitely been utilizing it, and I've been seeing her just keep buzzing, and to see her on Basecamp, it's fucking sick. So big ups to Zingara, and now we are going to dive into always my favorite part of the lineup, the secondary tier, the smaller artists, the underground, the up-and-comers. These are the artists that you don't get to see a lot and haven't really been like in circulation a lot, so these are kind of like special treats in some regards. The first artist we're going to talk about is Alien Park, who actually comes from South America, so him being at Basecamp is a big deal. I don't know if this is his US debut. I could be wrong, but that's definitely an artist who you're not going to want to miss. It's going to be heavy as fuck. He has crazy IDs, and it's someone who is, it takes them a lot to get to America, so you definitely want to like pay their respects and see them while you can, because you're not going to know when you're going to see them again in America, because they travel from so far away, and the visas and everything, that's hard to get approved. So anyone that comes, you know, to America to play outside of America, you always got to pay them respects and kind of just say like, yo, thank you for all the trouble you went to get here, because it is a lot. Another one on here is Automate. I'm pretty sure he's in the same position, man. Yeah, he had his US debut at Summoning Fest, and now he's on tour with Keizo, and I've gotten the chance to chill with him, talk to him. He's a cool-ass dude, very humble, very down-to-earth, and his sets, dude, his sets are fucking sick. He is another one who plays a lot of original music and has so many IDs, and you can just really kind of hear the Automate sound, and it's very heavy, but it's also very kind of like rhythmy as well, and I really just fucking love that Automate sound, and like he really has a lot of like gunfinger energy in his tracks. It's just like, that's the only thing I can do is just fucking, yeah. So that's Automate. Next up we have Berzekiel, another artist who was featured on the first Subsidia comp, and I was like, who the fuck is this dude, bro? This track is fucking crazy. And then I just been keeping tabs on him, and he followed me, and I got to meet him a couple times, and he's just been doing his thing. He has a nice, you know, kind of mesh, kind of like Yuki, of like heavy, high energy and weird kind of like wook bass. His mixing, his mashups are very cool, very fun. It's definitely a set you're not gonna want to miss. Next up we have Blaze, another artist who's been on my radar for quite some time. He is really fucking dope with doubles. His doubles chopping and his mixing is just very, you know, active, and not a lot of singles, a lot of doubles and chops, and very kind of creative mixing as well. So definitely someone you're gonna want to not miss if you're into, and someone that can appreciate, you know, mixing and doubles and chopping and kind of like a COD Dubs kind of style set. I don't think it's going to be as intense and crazy as COD does, but definitely same kind of energy with the, you know, the fake outs, the chopping and things like that. Next up we have Black Jesus, who I'm not all that familiar with, but what's crazy is I actually played a show with him recently in Arizona for the Grocery Boys at Grocery Bash, and he played right after me, and when he played, it seemed like a dance club for a second, bro, because he was playing Yeah by Usher and just like mad classic like club tunes, and then I came back and he was slinging rhythm. I'm pretty sure. I could be mistaken, and I was just like, I have no idea what we're about to see right now, but I need to take a break and chill, because I just was like sweaty and all caught up from like the set I just played, and I wish I could have seen what he was gonna like do with that set, because I am very curious now. But if you guys find out or know, let me know, because that's someone who, like, I didn't know he was as big as he was. You know, playing right after me, but he's also playing Bass Canyon. Like, what? That's fucking crazy. Next up, we have Buku, who is going to be bringing more kind of experimental and weird vibes. Crystal Skies, I'm not too familiar with, but I'm pretty sure that's melodic. Next up, we have Cyclops, who is on more of the weird spectrum, but can get heavy as well. And Cyclops is, I don't know, Cyclops for some reason has a very kind of like unique like sound to me. I don't know why. He has like the whole like egg thing. Even though it's not that heavy, it's still a weird vibe that I can fuck with and get down with. Next up, we have Darksiders, who I'm not familiar with. Diamond Dallas Tex, who I'm not familiar with. Dr. Ushu, I know a few Dr. Ushu tracks, but I'm not all that familiar with Dr. Ushu himself. Next up, we have Dino Shaddix, I'm not familiar with. Drink Your Water, I'm definitely familiar with. The fucking homie, Kevin. Repping Atlanta, but I'm pretty sure he's moving to Phoenix, I believe, soon, to kind of take his career to the next level and just reach a different demographic. He started his career at ATL, and now he's moving it to Phoenix, and I'm really excited to see what that does for him, because he has really been doing his thing, playing support for Excision, getting booked for Lost Lands, and just playing support all over, you know, ATLians, and just he's really been doing his thing, and his sound is very distinct, and his sets are so fucking cool. So I gotta shout out Kevin. He's a fucking dope bastard who supported me for so long, and my gratitude towards him is crazy. So big ups to Kevin. Make sure you check him out. You're not going to want to miss it, especially if you're into that like weird, heavy kind of stuff. Definitely not going to want to miss. Drink your water. Next up, we have Dubscrap, another artist you're not going to want to miss. This is a treat. I'm pretty sure it comes from like somewhere in Asia. He doesn't come around often, so you do get to see him. You should try, because he has a lot of like OG like remixes and stuff, especially for Excision himself. Pretty sure he's fairly young, so someone that, you know, could definitely have a bright future in dubstep with the things that he's been doing. Speaking of someone who has a bright future in dubstep, man, Morphe, this dude has been fucking killing it since he was a fucking kid, like 13 years old. He's still a fucking kid now, like 21, you know? And I'm pretty sure he's around that age. Yeah, dude, his fucking mixing is insane. That's how I found out about him. He was just going live on Facebook, and I was like, why is 300 people watching this kid right now, and why do I not know about him? And then I watched the fucking live stream, and I was like, holy fuck, I get it. Everyone's watching this kid's fucking crazy. And then I saw him play a local event near me, and I was actually playing that same show, and the same event, and I got to see him throw down for the first time live, and I was just like, holy fucking shit. And I saw him in an intimate setting, so it was just like being right fucking here, watching him play, and I was just blowing my mind. And then I got to see him a few other times. Seeing him at Lost is way different than the first time I saw him. You know, I feel like playing on a bigger stage, he has to kind of just play a little bit more safe. And also, like, I feel like he wants to play more of his own tracks. And I feel like when you double your own track, you lose that kind of, like, magic your track has. You want everyone to hear every element of your own track. And I noticed him doing that, playing more of his original tracks, not doubling, not going crazy. And I know he can. And I feel like he's just getting more comfortable playing in front of these big crowds on these big stages. Definitely big ups to Morphic, and definitely someone you're not going to want to miss if you're into the heavy, high energy, aggressive dubstep. Angry shit only, you know what I'm saying? Next up, we have Fairlight, who I'm not familiar with. Francis Durrell, I keep seeing on a bunch of Excision lineups. I'm pretty sure he's in the more melodic side of things and could be a vocalist as well, if I'm not mistaken. Ghost in real life, I'm not familiar with. Grabbits, I've seen, not too familiar with. I'm pretty sure that's more of like a melodic kind of thing as well. Hugh K, though, this is a unique fucking act on here, and probably one of the most unique acts on this lineup, dude. When have you ever seen Hugh K on a festival lineup like this, dude? What? I have never, that I can recall. Like, this is a big deal for the rhythm community, I would say. He's like low-key like a rhythm OG. Definitely a lot of respect in the rhythm scene. Has a lot of like iconic rhythm tracks, but like is just very quiet on SoundCloud, on social media, and you know, to see him on a lineup like this, it's fucking sick. So big ups to Hugh K. Next up, we have Jeannie putting on for the females. And Jeannie's going to give you a nice mix of everything. Some weird, some heavy, some fun bounces up. But her sets are very fun and definitely keep you on your toes. And it's very fresh. It's very new. Definitely, you know, a unique set. Definitely vibey. And definitely something I could enjoy, but I'm not going to go crazy to. It's not really a moshing kind of set. It's definitely a set you just kind of watch, vibe to, and dance and, you know, get down. Next up, we have John Casey. I'm not that familiar with. Cliptic, the fucking boy. I've been fucking with Jake for so long and supporting him forever, and it's dope to fucking see him finally, like, just blow out of the DMV area and just get on Lost Lands, Base Canyon, going on tour, supporting acts on tour, you know, having multiple stops on these tours. Next up, we have Link, who I don't even know, honestly, but Louis J, that's another one too, but these dudes have been fucking killing it. The first time I heard them, I was like, bro, these dudes are up next. Then I saw them and I was like, bro, like, yes, they're fucking heavy as fuck. They're a nice infusion of dubstep and trap. They're so heavy. That sound, it's just like a classic dubstep sound, but modernized. It's just heavy, it's dark, it's stompy, and I think it's what dubstep is all about in the modern day today. So big ups Louis J. I fucking love that sound, that like hybrid trap. And the dubstep infusion, I fuck with it heavy, and I fuck with y'all. So keep doing your thing. Next up, we have Lucid, who is repping the Wakan side of things. Definitely kind of more experiment. Again with the dead camera, bro. I must be making this video too long, bro. What the? Oh, my memory card is full on my camera. God damn it. All right, take 3. You know it's gonna be a long ass video, and the camera fucks up twice. So next up here we have Liney, who has been doing his thing. I've been hearing a lot of good things about him. I'm pretty sure I saw him play Electric Forest for a little bit, just kind of in passing, and he has a really kind of just like weird, wonky, but also has like, I'm pretty sure he has that song that's called like Noxious, and it has like a rhythm vibe. It's got like, gives you like Chibs vibes. So I don't even know what the fuck that dude is doing, but it's fucking sick. He's making noise, and I'm not even sure if it's like weird. I don't even know what kind of genre it is, but he's definitely been making some noise, so definitely check him out if you're interested. and see what it's all about. Next up, we have Mike Shift, who I'm not too familiar with, honestly. I know a couple of songs, but honestly, I don't want to speak too much about it because I might be leading you in the wrong direction. Next up, we have Mount Eden. I'm pretty sure that's like an OG, like, dubstep name. I can't even comprehend. That's like, I'm crazy. I can't comprehend that I'm reading that right now. I don't even think that's who I'm thinking of. But if it is, that's fucking crazy. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Next up, we have Muerte, one of my favorites on here. Someone who has just been fucking killing it and bringing a really unique sound. I feel it's dark, it's stompy, it's just very like underground, and it's just very kind of distinct. You know that Muerte sound and style, and I really fuck with it. It's my kind of style for sure. So big ups to Muerte. Next up, we have Mythum. I'm not familiar with, or Party with Ray, not familiar with. Point Blank, definitely familiar with, definitely an OG. Has a very kind of like distinct sound. It's almost similar to Jessica Autofred, if that makes sense. Her and almost kind of like Ray Volpe, they have this kind of like, and like Kill the Noise, almost, they have this kind of like similar, like piercing, like wah, like kind of sound. And it's just very distinct. Point Blank also has this, I don't know, that Ninja song. He has this. I'll show some clips of the songs I'm talking about.
I fucking love this song, bro. Point Blank IDs, let's get
They're very distinct, and you can really hear that Point Blank sound. He's been doing his thing, and it's dope to see him on this lineup as well. Another person that's up and down here is Resurrect, man. Another one of my favorites, someone who has been buzzing, and you know, he definitely has really kind of like just attacked dubstep with that sustained bass sound, and very similar to Louis J. Resurrected Louis J and Cliptic kind of have the same kind of sound and style, and a back-to-back by them would be fucking sick. They are the trifecta, man. That's a square. They are the trifecta, dude. They are just like, the three of them together just complement each other very well. The sounds, the sustain, the styles, and just the personalities as well. So definitely three artists you're going to want to keep on your radar if you're into that dubstep, trap kind of hybrid sound. Moving on to the next line here, wrapping up almost, we have Renee Lavis, who I'm not familiar with. Sippy, putting on for the female. She gives a little bit of everything. Just very well rounded. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, some heavy, some bouncy. Honestly, not too much heavy, but she can at times. She definitely has more of like a fun, upbeat kind of like, I don't want to, I say this in a respectful way, but like a mainstream kind of vibe, just like very kind of like mainstream sounds, not too underground, very kind of like poppy and dancey, and definitely very fun as well. Next up, we have Sisto, who is pretty much the opposite of Sippy. You know, one, he's dude, and second of all, he plays a lot of like underground, heavy, grimy kind of like, I don't even know. It's just very, his brand and imagery is very dark and kind of gives me like cemetery, like graveyard kind of vibes. But nonetheless, this was definitely going to be heavy and high energy and just underground as fuck. Next up, we have Skeleton, who I'm not too familiar with. Smith, I'm not familiar with. Evil. Stone Level, I'm very familiar with. Man, this undercard, bro, is so fucking stacked, dude. Like, I fuck with a lot of artists on this undercard here. A lot of them are my favorites right now. Stone Level being one of them, dude. Just someone who has a very crazy mixing presence. His stage energy is awesome. He doubles live, and they're fucking always just so proper and so clean. And just that Stone Level sound is very swingy. You know it when you hear that Stone Level sound. He really has kind of dialed in that Stone Level sound design, and you can kind of hear it in almost all aspects of his music. Moving on here, we have Stooky Sound, who I'm not familiar with all that much. I'm pretty sure it's more of a weird underground kind of Wakan vibe. Next up, we have Subcharge, who I'm not familiar with as well. Tape B, that is drum and bass, I'm pretty sure, and that's just like all drum and bass, if I'm not mistaken. Teddy Killers, I'm not familiar with either. The Whittler, very experimental, very deep, very just like, you know, in his own lane. He is an OG. He's one of like the pioneer, like weird guys, in my opinion, that I know of, and has a pretty big following, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So definitely someone you're going to want to not miss if you're into that weird experimental Wakan kind of style. Wrapping up here, we have again falling in that weird, wonky, not so much wonky, more experimental kind of Wakan sound. Put him in the bleep, bloop, and slump category. Bleep, bloop, and slump. I categorize all together in the same kind of vibe and sound. Next up, we have Vastiv, who, like I said, was in that same circle of Cliptic Lays, the Later Tonight fam, who is now ripping more so Root Service Records and Barrett Grills, and who's also on tour with Sullivan King on the Thrones of Blood tour. And him and Sullivan King have a very awesome complementary, you know, style, brand, and sound, because they have a lot of, you know, rock and roll, metal, guitar infused, you know, breakdowns and build-ups or whatever, and then they also have a lot of vocals and screaming live as well. So it'd be really fucking sick to see a Sullivan King and Vassive collab, both on the vocals, the guitar, and what kind of like crazy, like metal-esque infused dubstep track they could create, because the two of them, with their creative minds and their voices and their just production skills, would be a fucking insane dubstep metal fucking banger, and definitely would go fucking off live in any festival or just any live setting, period. Next up, another one of my favorites, dude, Versa. Do you see this fucking undercard, dude? Like, I'm gonna go over it at the end of the video, but this undercard is so fucking stacked with all of my favorite artists, dude. You'll know what you're gonna get with Versa. The music speaks for itself. He never gets on the microphone because his music is just so fucking heavy, and it's just, you know, it's like, I put like Sudden Death, Murata, and then Versa. You know, they're all kind of in the top 3 heaviest artists in my, you know, in my circle of artists, in my caliber, my style, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Versa's fucking heavy, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And it'll be mosh pits, it'll be violent, and it'll be fucking hectic, and it'll probably be earlier than you want it to be. I've noticed Versa plays kind of early. He's still on the come up of, you know, solidify himself as an artist and where he stands in the community, but I know Versa's gonna be as high as Murata someday, you know. So just in due time he will make it to that, because his music, like I said, it speaks for itself, and it is one of the heaviest sounds I have seen and heard. Can you see his sound? I don't know, but the first sets I've seen are always fucking insane. They are never dead or quiet. They are always fucking insane, even though he is like one of the most calm and chill dudes up on the stage. You know, he'll lose it from time to time, but overall, Versa's a very like low-key, just like quiet kind of guy, honestly, which is very funny because his music is not. So wrapping up here, we have Vulcan, who is again kind of heavy. I'm not too familiar all that much. It could be a little bit more weird, but I definitely know it's a bass artist, and it has a nice variety of heavy, whether it's dubstep heavy or like weird heavy. I feel like there's a nice infusion of both, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit more on the heavy, like dubstep side, and more aggressive. Next up, we have Wales, another one of my favorites on here, someone that is very unique, and someone who doesn't come around very often, but Excision has been booking him a lot, I've noticed, on his big festivals, and for, you know, rightly so. I don't even know if that's proper grammar. You see how fucking much I'm struggling here, but what I'm trying to say is Wells is sick, and he doesn't come around often, so when you do get to see him, I would advise doing it, because he has a very unique set. It's very fresh, a lot of like songs you've never heard before, a lot of high energy, and his production is really fucking good. And it varies, kind of like Virtual Riot. He can kind of produce anything. Same thing with Dion Timmer. I can kind of put Wells in that category as well, of just being very diverse and being able to spin anything and play anything in his live sets, and just mesh it well and mix it well, and just take you on a musical journey. A lot of what I feel like are his tracks. So you gotta pay respect to where it's doing and playing mostly original sets. Wrapping up here, we have YD. I feel like I've been saying wrapping up like every artist here. We're almost done, I promise. We have YDG, who I recently got to see and play a show with at a spot in New York City called Musica, and it was a nice variety again of like kind of weird and heavy, kind of like I guess maybe who could it be comparable? Kind of like Yuki, maybe ATLiens. I feel like it was a little bit more on the heavy side. Maybe like YDG and Vulcan could be kind of like comparatively similar. I feel like, you know, in my opinion, that's who like two artists that could kind of be like on the same spectrum as far as sound, energy, and you know, what their sets are gonna be like live versus, you know, their production. Lastly on here, we have Years of War and Eula, who I'm not familiar with either of those artists, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And there you have it, man. That is the Bass Canyon 2023 lineup. Like, that is an insane undercard, dude. So many of my favorite artists right now all playing on the same festival. And what's cool about Bass Canyon, it's only like 2 stages, so there's not a lot of conflicts. But I am very satisfied with this lineup. There is a nice, you know, mesh on the undercard, which the undercard really makes this lineup for me, because if it was, you know, these same couple artists up here, I'm used to seeing all of those artists. Like I've said, it's nice to have, you know, the staples mixed in with the new guys, the young bucks, the up and comers, because that's what makes the festival a little bit more diverse and new and fresh, and you know, it gives it a nice balance. So I am really hyped on this lineup, and hopefully we can go. I don't think it's gonna be, I mean, it's not impossible. It's very possible, but it's a matter of if everybody else cannot make it possible. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if I mislabeled any other artists, let me know in the comments below. Feel free to correct me, educate me in a polite and respectful manner. Keep it positive, keep it moving, show love, get love, you know the vibes. Thank you so much for watching on the Festival of Finesser, and I'll see you guys for the next review, next video, next vlog, whatever it may be, very soon. Love y'all. Peace out.